Hello and welcome. Where is everybody? Why do we only have seven people here? Hi, Naya. Hi, Isaac. Hi, Max. Good to know we've got some people, but we should have like 30 people. Where is everybody else? Hi, Bryce. Oh, it's because Ninja's streaming over on Mixer. So, thanks, Lauren. Micah knows. You can just have two tabs, Micah. Just have Ninja on one tab and me on the other. I'm probably sleeping. It's 10 a.m. You should be awake by 10 a.m. Even if you stay up till like 1 or 2, you should still be awake at 10. Why? Because the day's already over by then. No, I know. I remember I can sleep until noon. I remember being in high school. Especially now. I can only imagine how bored you guys are. Hey, there we go. Now we're up to like 15 people. 11? Oh, man, that's so late. Yeah, but don't stay up till 3 a.m. That's too late. You gotta go to sleep at like 2. The day's just begun. Oh gosh. Yeah, just wake up in bed and just pull out your laptop and do your streaming in bed. Yeah, no, dedication's definitely an issue. Oh, Isaac with the 160 points. You can redeem a message. Oh, by the way, I am getting emotes and sub badges for the channel, so it'll be spicy. So you can use your points to make a highlighted message. Ooh. And then eventually you'll be able to use them to like use my emotes and things that I'm getting worked on right now. Yep. It's so much fun. No, it's just like a lame. They just added it a couple months ago. So how is everybody? How do you participate in a raid? We would have to raid somebody. So I would have to pick someone else on Twitch, and when we're done with the stream, we would go raid their stream, and everybody in my stream would automatically join their stream. So we'd have to just find somebody else who was streaming, and we would raid them. I'm glad it's almost the weekend too. Isaac, stop speaking Russian. English only. No, you don't. Practice somewhere else. What else is going on? Are you guys dying in quarantine still? Raid Dr. Disrespect. No, we gotta raid like a lower streamer so that they actually make a big deal about it. Hi, Valen. Someone who only has like 10 viewers. We just double their viewership. Oh no, don't kill your fish, Naya. That would be so sad. Do you not have like a little heater for the pond or the fishbowl tank? Oh yeah, no. Oh, I know. Seriously, Joel. California's on like lockdown. That's where my wife's family is, and they can't do anything. Um, I don't know what that is, Max. What's up, Maggie? Got some resilient. Oh, okay, Black Ops. I got you, Max. You got some resilient fish there, Logan. Oh, Isabel's home. Tell Isabel I said hi. Oh my gosh. Oh, I forgot. They brought all the missionaries home, didn't they? So yeah, that would make sense. Yeah, no, tell Isabel I said hi. Uh, Hoarders are killing your fish. Poor Naya. Ooh, yeah, nurse in New York City. That's way sketchy. New York City is getting hit hard. I think yesterday the U.S. Overtook. We now have the most coronavirus cases in the world. USA, USA, USA. So yeah, we got that going for us, and like half of them are in New York City. So yeah, number one. Wait, make who join? Topisha. Who's Topisha? Is that Talia? I think it is. Okay. Cool. Let's go ahead and get started into what I like to call our study plan. So, I sent out this calendar yesterday to all of your parents, and all of you should have received the email as well. This is basically what we're going to be doing for next month, right? So we've got. Excuse me, sorry. On Sunday night, right? Make sure you finish the chapter 16 test and take it on Canvas by Sunday. Try to get that done. My daughter's crying in the background. So try to get the chapter 16 test done by Sunday night. It's the same format as we did the chapter 15 quest. It's a little bit longer, but still, it's just multiple choice and then upload your short answer. Yeah, it's getting close to nap time. She gets upset in the morning when we get close to nap time. Okay, so after that, though, we're going to, and starting today a little bit, we're going to kind of get into it. We're going to hit review hard. So what I'm going to have is I have free response exams due every week, with the exception of spring break. And so we're going to do the 2015 free response. Yeah, if you haven't gotten an AP review book, get your AP review book. You don't have to physically have it here with you today, but you want to make sure that you have one at home that you can work through. With Amazon shipping being a little delayed, if you haven't gotten it yet, it might be a problem. Yeah, I know you don't need it actually here. So on Thursday, next Thursday, so April the 2nd, the 2015 free response exam is going to be due. I've already uploaded that to Canvas. So if you've already finished the chapter 16 test, you can download that and do your best on it. What I want you to do with these, I don't want you to use your notes on them. I want you to just kind of do them blind and see how you would do. And then that way you can kind of know where you are and what you need to study and those sorts of things. So we're going to have one free response exam every week. We're going to do the 2015, then the 2016, then the 2017, then the 2018, leading up to the week of the test. We're only going to do free response questions because the test is only going to be free response. And so it's going to be like half the normal free response. So make sure that you are ready for that. They are going to be graded on participation, Naya. So don't stress about getting them right all the time because we're focusing on learning here. The test, that's the weird thing, is because they're administering it online, we're going to get more information about that, I think, next week. Yeah. Yeah, they don't have the dates for the exam yet. They're going to put the dates up April 3rd. Yeah, so end of next week, we'll know the dates that they're going to have the test scheduled. So we'll know at the end of next week when the test dates are going to be. So, yeah, no, don't worry about it, Isaac. Will we still do work on paper? So again, I don't know, Rhett. I don't know how they're gonna do that. I don't know if if you like do it on paper and upload a picture of it. I don't know exactly what they're gonna be doing for that. We'll get the details of how they're gonna do the exam next week. All we know right now for sure is it's going to be short answer and it should only be 45 minutes. Yeah, so photo upload. I don't know, Sarah. My bet is they're just going to use. So what I'm doing going forward, if this changes next week, then it'll change, and we'll kind of do all that stuff. My bet is they're going to really just focus on like the same format as the past free response questions. I don't know if they would do like multiple choice questions in a free response fashion. They might, but why not just do free response questions if that's the case? So I don't know for sure. We'll find out all about the formatting of the test next week. So once we find out about that, that's when I'll be able to do a better guided review. For now, my plan, as you can see from the calendar, is we're going to do a free response exam every week. And then we're going to, on Fridays, we're going to discuss the answers to the exam and we're going to work through any questions on them. And then on Monday, Wednesday, we're going to do just content review. So we're going to do units 1 through 7, which they've said are going to be on the exam. And so we'll do content reviews Monday, Wednesday, and then we'll do. Hey, is that Isabel? TJ, Isabel, and Maggie. All the Smiths are now watching my stream. Isabel, and so 2 out of the 3 have gotten 5s. So now it's up to Maggie to live up to the expectation. Anyway, so like I said, Monday, Wednesday review streams. We're going to review content. We're going to just dive into. We're going to do content, things like that. Oh, does it, Isaac? DJ, don't play freaking Clash Royale. Will the content review correlate with the free spread question? No, it'll be totally independent. So, I mean, I'm going to try to do it, but the thing is the free response exam is the whole year. So, eventually it will lead into, by the time we hit the 2018 exam, you guys should be pretty confident on all the content. But when we're doing the 2015, 2016, those ones are going to be a little bit rough. There's going to be like the, oh shoot, I remember talking about this, but I don't remember how to do it idea. So this is kind of the point, is to see, where you are right now, and what we can do to get you where you need to be to get the score you want. Okay. So yeah. So Tuesdays, I'll be available in the Discord for help. But then Tuesdays also is kind of just a day for me to get stuff graded and get stuff prepared and do all that stuff. So you guys on your own, right, should be either working through the exams. Since they're due on Thursdays, you can work on them. My bet would be you'd be working on them maybe Tuesdays, work on them Tuesdays and Thursdays or something. Or you can also work on your review books. You should be working on your review books every day. Don't learn the language, Isaac. Do AP Chem. Focus on your AP classes. Worry about learning a language later. Zach says to learn Klingon. Yeah, the language of chemistry. So, Sarah, I don't know. Points are whatever. It's not a big deal. I just want you guys to participate on this, get this stuff done. Grades have been, in my mind, grades are taking kind of a backseat right now, because the emphasis is passing the test, right? Taking the test, passing the test. That's the emphasis. And Maggie, I'm glad your computer's fixed. So like I said, grades should be one of your least concerns. Just make sure you're keeping up and doing what you should. Good. Okay. Cool. What else? So, like I said, speaking of your study books, so your review books, you should be working on and working through maybe 30 minutes a day. It depends on how long it's going to take you to work through it, but you should try to work through the whole thing. I am still going to want to collect those at the end of the school year. Maybe if we're still quarantined, I'll have you guys drop them off at the school or something. So I do want to collect those. I do want to see that you've done those, and that'll be a pretty hefty amount of points. Speaking of points, that'll be like 200. So let's see. Any questions about the structure for the next month? Everybody kind of have an idea of what we're doing. No, Naya, you don't have to go past Unit 7. Well, let's, I guess, yeah, we can talk about that now. Let's talk about that now. So for the coronavirus, right, they've decided that for AP Chemistry, Units 1 through 7 are on the test, and Units 8 and 9 are not. Okay, so 1 through 7 will be, and 8 and 9 are not. Now, if you're wondering what the heck are 1 through 7 and 8 and 9, okay, so when I mean go through your ebooks thoroughly, Bryce, I mean they'll all have like content reviews with practice questions and things like that. You don't have to do all the practice exams, but I do want you to have gone through all of the chapter sections, and I want you to have like annotated basically. So annotate like the reading and do do like the questions that are in the middle of the book. You don't have to do like the full exams at the end, but you want to do all the questions kind of in between the chapters. Oops, sorry. Oh, hello, Anna. Okay. All right. So Unit 1, Atomic Structure and Properties. You don't. I would still do the multiple choice because the content is still worth it. But I wouldn't like stress out about the multiple choice. Yeah, and we are going to be familiar with some of the stuff. Yeah, I know. We'll see what they say for chemistry. Chemistry's a little more exclusive on things, and so we'll just kind of see how they do. Prince of View is a great one, Mikey. Yeah, and this last unit, chapter 16, is actually in that last unit, and so we'll be good. All right, so let's recap. What are the units? Unit number 1, atomic structure and properties. This is real simple. Mass, element composition. This is like percent composition. This is stuff we did. Photoelectron spectroscopy, periodic trends, valence electrons. Stuff we did a long time ago. Unit 2. Okay, molecular and ionic compound structure and properties. We have types of bonds, intermolecular forces, potential energy, structure, Lewis dot diagrams, resonance, formal charge, all those things. Okay, Unit 3. Unit 3 is a big one, and this is where we're going to spend a lot of time, is intermolecular forces. So intermolecular forces, right, all these ideas, the ideal gas law, P equals nRT, kinetic molecular theory, solubility, photoelectric effect, Beer-Lambert plots, chemical reactions. That's okay, Maggie. That's why we're going to spend a month reviewing. That's why we're going to spend a month doing all these things so you can feel confident in what you're going to do. Chemical reactions, right? Balancing equations, net ionic equations, physical and chemical changes, stoichiometry, titrations, types of reactions, acid-base, oxidation reduction. Then kinetics. Yay, kinetics. Rate laws, reaction rates, collision theory, mechanisms, catalyst, all those things. Isaac's favorite unit, rate laws. Thermodynamics, right? Endothermic, exothermic, energy diagrams, phase changes, enthalpy, bond enthalpies, enthalpy of formation, Hess's law, equilibrium, reversible reactions, right? K, Q, calculating K, what a large K means, calculating equilibrium concentration using ice tables, Le Chatelier's principle, solubility, right? KSPs, pH and KSP, okay? And then that's the end, right? You need to go, I would go through just the content, Haley. You don't have to worry about all the intro stuff. Content is where I really want you to make you focus on. All right, acids and bases. So apparently this will not be on the exam. Okay, so acids and bases, pH, pOH of strong acid, weak acid equilibrium, buffers. So we're not going to be using Kas or Kbs. Yeah, it looks like this last stuff is not going to be on there. Acid, weak acid base. Yeah, if you failed that test. pH, pKa, buffers. KSPs are, because that's over here. So KSPs are in in unit 7. So they're a little bit backwards of what we did in our textbook. But KSPs will be on the test. But KAs will not be. Okay, and then also Unit 9, this is entropy. This is the stuff we just did. Entropy, Gibbs free energy, free energy, coupled reactions, and then this right here. This is the only stuff that we did not and will not cover. Okay, this is the only stuff that we have not and will not discuss. So it's just these last 4 ideas. So I think we've covered the content thorough enough that you guys should be okay. And we actually even mentioned a little bit of this in honors. So yeah, we can, Isaac, if you need to. Gases, Naya, gases were back in this unit, ideal gas law. It's in Unit 3. And then if you're like equilibrium for gases, you can too. Yeah, so you can skip, I would skip you can skip the acid-base stuff. I still would look at it, but you would definitely want to skip the thermodynamic stuff. P equals nRT, super important. I'll put the link to this website in the chat. No, independent project is the best. Yeah, we can learn. No organic, no nuclear. That's not on there. No. No organic, no nuclear. We haven't talked about that this unit at all, or this year. Organic, to a small extent, kind of shows itself in intermolecular forces, but not a ton. Nuclear, definitely no. Nuclear, the only time you'll actually see nuclear is if they talk about like rate laws. They'll maybe mention like nuclear decays as a first order rate law, but that would be the only time. Yeah, you're not going to see like alpha particle or beta emissions or things like that. So there is going to be thermo. So there's delta H, right? Thermodynamics. There are delta H. There's Hess's law. There's all that stuff. But there's not going to be any entropy. We'll see, Mikey. We'll see. Probably not. I like to keep the class going even after the AP test. I like to keep the class going. We have too many people to try to play diplomacy, Isaac. We play chess. We can do that. You could do that for your independent project. Glow sticks are relatively complex. All right. Cool. Let's see. What else did I want to do? Not that. Oh, so on Canvas, if you haven't looked on Canvas yet, this is where the free response questions are. So you can click this page, you can download it. Right. And so we have this is what you're going to see for 2015. Let's not play chess. Glow sticks are great. I got you, Lauren. Sorry. Okay. So I wanted to talk about the structure of this real fast. Here, let me put this up so you guys can see it. We'll slide this over a little bit. Okay. Yeah, sorry, Isaac. That's unfortunately the reality of the situation. All right, so I wanted to go through, I wanted to point out any questions that you don't have to worry about, just so you can kind of know. So this is up. So again, if you haven't taken the Chapter 16 test, take the Chapter 16 test today or tomorrow. Yeah, so it turns out that because they're shortening to 45 minutes, there's probably going to be like one long question. We'll see those. Okay. So let's see. 2015. So you'll notice the exam always starts with a periodic table. Oh, Isaac, we were going to do that today. We can do that today. Let's do that today. Let me change the schedule. Yeah, we'll do that today. Um, okay, so let's see. So periodic table, and then of course the equation sheet that we've been using all year. This is the blue sheet. It's always at the very start. I don't know how they're going to do it in a digital form, but yeah. Okay, so this first question is actually on electrochem, and so you can actually skip it. So you can skip. You don't have to print it off. So you can skip 1A. Wow, you can skip almost all of question 1. Oh, you want to do number E though. So you can skip 1A, B, C, and D. Because all of that has to do with units 8 and 9. That's nice. All right, now question 2, you have to do all of. Okay, so it's question 2 is talking about burning, calculating moles, thermodynamics, right? That kind of stuff. Yeah, I'll put what questions you can skip, Naya. Give me. I'll I'll do that this afternoon. I'll put what questions to skip. I'll do that on the actual. So if you look on this page, I'll put the information on which you can skip right here. You're good, Naya. Okay. Let's see. Then you've got more just questions. So you can do all this, right? pH equivalence point, do all that stuff. Draw titration, solubility, KSP. That's up to you, Joel. It depends on your timing, right? If you want to get the most authentic AP prep experience, you could do it all at once. But until we know the more format, I would space it out. I would just do. I would dedicate some time to it for the week, and then just kind of see where you're at and see how you do it. Especially as we're just doing these first tests, just so you can get used to the feel of it. Again, Logan, we don't know yet. So in the past, they've had 3 long questions and 4 short questions, but that they had 100. You had 105 minutes to do it, and since they're shortening it down to 45 minutes. That means they're maybe going to do 2 long questions and 3 short. I don't know. Yeah, so your homework for the next month, Rhett, is going to be the weekly free response and your review book. So Logan, at the end of next week, they're going to come out and tell us what the format of the test will be. They're still working on deciding it. I'm sure they're still writing it. It's going to be at the end of next week. We'll know. Yeah, that's true. There are because multiple choice was no calculator and there's no more multiple choice, you could use your calculator and everything. Okay, so let's go through. Let's go through the. Let's go through the chapter 15 take-home quest. Okay, I'm trying to think. Do we have anything else we need to do? Okay, so link that out. Yeah, so we'll just go back and forth between this. Okay, so I started you off with kind of a really fun compound on the chapter 15 test. It was this terbium phosphate. Oops. So terbium 4 phosphate, kind of a crazy one. So terbium 4 phosphate, Tb3PO4. The first question asked for the KSP. So terbium 3 phosphate would break down into 3 terbium ions and 4 phosphate ions. which means the KSP would be equal to the terbium ion cubed and the phosphate ion to the fourth. Right? Kind of ridiculous. So that's why they answered this first problem is the terbium cubed and the phosphate to the fourth. No, I haven't finished grading them yet. Total views is at 2,000 because I've been streaming for weeks, and so I'm up to 2,000 views. You'll be all right, Naya. Okay, so terbium phosphate. The terbium would be cubed, the phosphate would be to the fourth. If the molar solubility is X, then the concentration of the terbium ion would be 3X, right? Just to walk you through that if you're unsure. Okay, so if we think about it, right, if we did an ice table, which I shouldn't have written this here, but if we did an ice table, it'd be 0, 0, plus 3X, plus 4X, 3X, 4X, KSP equals 3X cubed, 4X to the fourth, and then we go from there. Okay. So that's why the terbium ion would be 3X. Question 3. The KSP for barium sulfate is 1.1 times 10 to the negative 10th, the molar solubility, right? So this one's straightforward. If that KSP is 1.1 times 10 to the negative 10th, and it just splits into two ions, and so because it just splits into two ions, this just equals x squared, so we just have to square root it. And so if you square root it, you get 1 times 10 to the negative fifth. Boop. Okay, the molar solubility for lead fluoride is 2.1 times 10 to the negative third. Calculate the KSP for lead fluoride. I'm out of paper. All right, so they're basically telling us that x equals 2.1 times 10 to the negative third. And if we think about lead fluoride, it breaks apart into lead ions and 2 fluoride ions. Okay, so let's look at this now. Okay, so we know this is going to be plus x plus 2x, x, 2x. So KSP equals x times 2x squared, or 4x cubed. And so then we just take our x, plug it in, so we cube it, and then we times it by 4. And we get 3.7 times 10 to the negative small number. So KSP 3.7 times 10 to the negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. Yeah, Mikey. Gotta watch out for that toilet paper. We're stocked up. We're good. All right, so we said 3.7 times 10 to the negative 8th. That is this one right here. Okay, use the following data for the next two problems. So we have nickel hydroxide, cobalt hydroxide, lead iodide, iron sulfide, and barium carbonate. Which of the following is the most soluble? So to do that, you actually have to find the molar solubilities. Because they don't break up into the same number of ions, these ones break up into 3 ions, these ones break up into 2 ions. You can't actually do it just by looking at the KSPs. So for the first three, 6.5 times 10 to the negative 18th, 2.5 times 10 to the negative 16th, 1.1 times 10 to the negative 9th, 5 times 10 to the negative 18th, and 5.1 times 10 to the negative 9th. So the first three are all going to be equal to 4x cubed. Really similar to the lead fluoride we just did. But the last two are only going to be equal to x squared. And so when we solve for their molar solubilities, we will get very different values. Isaac, your question, they're right there. Sine, cosine, tangent. Oh, the sine h. I think that's inverse sine, but I'm not sure. So 6.5 times 10 to the negative 18th divided by 4, cube rooted. You get 1.2 times 10 to the negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, do the same thing. Uh, 4.0 times 10 to the negative 6th. Right? Did I do that right? Yeah, okay. 1.1 t negative 9th divided by 4, cube rooted. 6.5 times 10 to the negative 4th. Oh, hyperbolic sine. We don't know when the exam is. They're going to tell us next week. So this is 2.2 times 10 to the negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. Which question, Kawil Hilly Leonard? It's next week. It's Monday. Thanks, guys. Thanks for the appreciated answers. All right. So if we look at all these values, the ones we should be concerned with is the smallest value and the greatest value. Well, the greatest value and the smallest. All right. So greatest, smallest. So the greatest value is going to be the most soluble, and the smallest value is going to be the least soluble. So if we go back to our chart, right, the most soluble was that the third one down, the lead iodide. Okay. And the least soluble, which is in the next question, is going to be our iron sulfide. Right. And we did that by solving for x, right? And you can't just directly compare, because that might lead you to believe that the most soluble was the barium carbonate, because it technically has the largest KSP. But because this breaks into 3 ions, that means this is more soluble with this given KSP. And you can't necessarily say that the smallest KSP, the nickel hydroxide, this isn't a math class, Kawil He Leonard. So sorry, man. This is chemistry. All right, question 7. The molar solubility of calcium carbonate in a saturated solution can be added by, well, we know calcium carbonate, the carbonate ion is basic, and so we're going to want to add an acid. Acid breaks down carbonates. It looks like just some random person, Isaac. So calcium carbonate is going to be increased by adding a strong acid like hydrochloric acid. Okay. Now for the fun ones. Now for the short answers. Okay. So these ones, like I said, I haven't finished grading them yet. I'm going to start doing that today and maybe finish over the weekend. We'll see. I don't know who Kawhi Leonard is. Is that supposed to be someone famous? All right. Oh, basketball. Basketball. Who cares about basketball? Who cares about basketball? All right. Yeah, I was about to say NBA is canceled. You know what's not canceled? Esports. I'm just kidding. Okay. All right. So the first question says to write a balanced chemical equation for the solubility equilibrium. That's pretty simple, right? Just the solid. I guess we should make it an equilibrium. The solid breaking apart into the two ions. Okay. Easy enough. The second question then asks, exactly, Isaac. The second question then asks, write the expression for the solubility constant KSP and calculate its value. So we would know that, we would do 0, 0, plus x, plus 2x, x, 2x, and so KSP equals x times 2x squared, or 4x cubed. I'm a little ahead of myself because symbolically it equals the concentration of iron times the concentration of hydroxide squared. Okay, so I know, right? So to answer this question, go back to the question, right? Write the expression of the solubility constant KSP and calculate its value. So here's the expression, KSP equals iron times hydroxide squared. Its value is this 4x cubed, so we just plug in x. But we don't want to plug in x as grams per liter. We need to have it in molarity, or in moles per liter. And so we need to do a quick conversion. We need to find the molar mass of iron hydroxide. I'm going to cheat. Iron 2 hydroxide is 90 grams per mole. So if we have 1.43 times 10 to the negative third grams for 1 liter, there's 90 grams for every 1 mole. Grams cancel. So you just divide it by 90, and that gives you the molar solubility. I would have just banned you, bro. Like, I know how Twitch works. I can just ban you now if you want. Have a good day. So if we take 1.43 times 10 to the negative third, divided by 90, right? It gives us 1.59 times 10 to the negative fourth. Okay, so we plug that in for x. So cube it, multiply it by 4. We get 1.60 times 10 to the negative 14th. And so that's our KSP. Clown. Kids. People don't understand the reason why I use Twitch is because Twitch has the lowest delay out of any streaming service. So like I tried YouTube the other day, there was like a 30-second delay. And I don't want to do like Google Meet or anything like that because those are just lame. And Zoom is stupid. So. All right. Anyway, KSP 4x cubed 1.6 times 10 to the negative 14. All right. So letter C then asks, calculate the pH of a saturated solution at 25 degrees C. Yeah, seriously, Lauren. Okay, so the pH, well, we know the hydroxide ion concentration is equal to 2x. And so my concentration of hydroxide is going to be, this 1.59 times 10 to the negative fourth squared. So that would be, what, 3.18 times 10 to the negative fourth molar? And so we just take the negative log of that to get the pOH. Yeah, silent. So 3.18 times 10 to the negative fourth. We take the negative log of that. We get 3.5 as the pOH, which means the pH is 10.5. Okay. So that is part C. Part D then asks, it's a little more complex. Let's go back to it. Part D says a 50 milliliter sample of 3.0 times 10 to the negative third molar iron hydroxide solution. Oh no, Logan, you only missed like half a point. Don't worry about it. Yeah, make sure you answer the question that's being asked, not the question you think is being asked. Okay, so part D, a 50 milliliter sample of 3 molar iron sulfate solution is added to 50 milliliters of 4 molar sodium hydroxide. Does it precipitate form? Explain and show calculations. Okay, so we're using 50 milliliters of each. So what happens to their respective concentrations? What happens to their concentrations? If you use 50 milliliters of each and you mix them together. $50 milliliters here, 50 milliliters here, mix them together. Concentrations. No, Lauren. No, they dilute. Oh my gosh. This is killing. This is concerning. They get halved, right? If I use equal volumes, if I have 1 molar here, 1 molar here, and I mix them together, they turn out to be half molar because I've diluted the volume of each with the other solution. And so in part D, our concentrations are actually 1.5 times 10 to the negative third iron ions and 2.0 times 10 to the negative sixth hydroxide ions. Okay, and so if this is our concentration of hydrogen and hydroxide, right, 1.5 times 10 to the negative 6, 2.0, or negative third, and 2.0 times 10 to the negative third, we can calculate, okay, well, what's Q, right? Q is going to be my iron, 1.5 times 10 to the negative third, times my hydroxide, 2.0 times 10 to the negative sixth, squared, don't forget to square it, and then that gives us our answer. So we can compare Q to K. 2 times 10 to the negative sixth squared. Times that by 1.5 times 10 to the negative third. Okay, I get 6 times 10 to the negative 15th. Okay, so how does Q compare to K? Last I checked, 6 times 10 to the negative 15th is smaller than 1.6 times 10 to the negative 14th. So it's less than. So Q is less than K. No precipitate. So no precipitate forms. Oh no, this is Q. That's K. Apparently, Isaac. All right, so no precipitate. Q is less than K. Plug in. Big thing that you might have missed is if you don't half these, I think Q ends up being greater than K, and so you get there's a precipitate. So we'll have to see. Letter E, at 20 degrees C, the solubility of iron hydroxide is 1.22 times 10 to the negative third grams. So if we look at the original, right? So at 25, it was 1.43, and at 20, it's 1.22. Yeah, but it's a negative exponent, Micah. Negative 15 is smaller than negative 14. All right. So anyways, so if we look at a lower temperature, the solubility is lower. So is the dissolving endo or exothermic? Oof, we got to think back to Le Chatelier's principle, right? Good old Le Chatelier. So if this is our reaction, we want to know, is heat on the product side or is heat on the reactant side? By lowering the temperature, we lowered the solubility. And so lowering the temperature shifted it to the left. And so that means heat has to be on the left. And so it has to be an endothermic process because lowering the temperature decreased the solubility. So heat's on the left. Lowering the temperature causes a shift to the left. We're almost done. We got like 10 more minutes, Micah. You can do it. Okay, so it is endothermic, we would say, for our last question. Right? Is the dissolving endo or exothermic? It's endothermic. It shifts to the left. Lauren doesn't even remember these questions. This was a week ago that this was due, so I mean, I guess it's been a week. All right, 85.1b. Let's see if we can go through this one. So at 25 degrees C, the solubility constant KSP for lead sulfate is that, and lead fluoride is that. What's the molar solubility of lead sulfate? What's the molar solubility of lead fluoride? So those calculations are relatively simple. That's my wife vacuuming, I'm pretty sure. I think that's the sound of a vacuum. Oh, okay. I couldn't even see what you did wrong, Austin. Yeah, that could be a problem. All right. So we know that lead sulfate is going to break apart into x squared, and lead fluoride is going to be 4x cubed again because it breaks apart into 2 ions or it breaks apart into 3 ions. Oh, I'm missing an x there. It should be 1.8 times 10 to the negative 8th. Hope you guys didn't screw that up. 7.1 times 10 to the negative 7th. That's the only thing that makes sense. Okay, so we cut back. Okay, so for this one, right, we're just going to square root so this is the KSP. This is the KSP. So we're just going to square root this one to get the solubility. So 1.8 times 10 to the negative 8th square rooted is 1.34 times 10 to the negative 4th molar. And then if we do the other one, 7.1 times 10 to the negative 7th divided by 4 cube rooted x equals 5.62 times 10 to the negative 3rd. All right, so that was both A and B. Your math homework depends, but we're working on chemistry right now, bud. So this is A, and this is B. All right, cool. You just earned yourself a band. Bye. All right. So molar solubility A, molar solubility B, check, check. Letter C. An aqueous solution of lead nitrate is slowly added to a 1 liter of a is added slowly. Man, I can't talk. To a 1 liter solution of a well-stirred solution containing 0.02 moles of iron and 0.1 moles of sulfate. You may assume the lead nitrate solution does not materially affect the total volume. Which salt precipitates first? Dun, dun, dun. Okay, so what we have to do is we have to solve. So I don't know. They're gone now. Who cares? Okay. So if we look at this, right? So this is all the information the problem gave us. They told us that we've got a sulfate concentration of 0.1 and a fluoride concentration of 0.02. We have our KSPs. What we need to do is we need to solve for the lead ion, right? What lead ion is going to cause precipitation first? So to do this one, you just divide. That's easy enough. The concentration of lead is 1.8 times 10 to the negative 7th molar. For this one to start precipitating. And over here, we have to square that and divide. So 7.1 times 10 to the negative 7th divided by 0.02 squared is 1.8 times 10 to the negative 3rd. Right? So which one's going to start precipitating? That one, right? The molarity here is a lot smaller than the molarity there. And so my lead ions only have to get up to this point before the sulfate starts precipitating. Whereas over here, the fluoride only has to get up to that point for it to start precipitating. Well, it has to get all the way up to that point to start precipitating. So which salt precipitates first? The lead sulfate. What's the concentration of the lead ion in the solution where it first begins to form? 1.8 times 10 to the negative 7th. As more lead nitrate is added to the mixture in C, a second precipitate form. At that stage, what is the percent ion of the first precipitate that remains in the solution? So this is the more complicated, kind of the last problem here. What they're asking us to do is they're asking us to find, okay, once the lead equals this concentration, what's going to be the concentration of the sulfate? So we just replug back in 1.8 times 10 to the negative 8th. But we plug in 1.8 times 10 to the negative 3rd for my lead, and then we solve for sulfate. So 1.8 times 10 to the negative 8th divided by 1.8 times 10 to the negative 3rd is, oops. 0.00001. So 1 times 10 to the negative. So we'll just write it 0.00001. And if you look percentage-wise, it's a very low percentage. Did I screw this up somewhere? I don't think I did. Yeah, so if we look at percentage-wise, 0.00001 over 0.10, that's like 99%. Yeah, it's 99.99%. I feel like I screwed this up somewhere. Huh. I don't know either. Did anybody get the same answer as me? Oh well. Yeah, it's fine. I'll look through it. I'll double check it later. Um, I think it's right. So I guess it would be 0.01% remains. Oh, 0. Yeah, it's close enough. 0.01. Yeah, 0.01%. Yeah, good, good. You guys got it. 0.01% remains. Good. Everybody was going and finding their work, I guess. Okay. Cool. All right, so that's the test. We're a little over on time for a stream. On Monday, we'll dive into the review. Make sure to finish the Chapter 16 test over the weekend. We'll maybe discuss that at some point next week as well. I'll finish doing the grading of the Chapter 15 quest. We'll dive into the review. Start your review books. Try to do the short answer. I'll post what questions you can't do for the short answer. And yeah, cool. Okay. Have a good rest of the day, guys. Bye. Thanks from Croatia. So close, Mikey. So close.